Again. And welcome to this edition of the Hermit's Rewind. Today we are watching the 2016 state basketball final between St. Augustine Prep and Don Bosco. With us today we have Coach Rodeo, Coach Catalana, and some of the major players on that team, and Austin Kennedy, Saeed Nelson, Justin Mutz, and Walt Harvey.
Yeah, it's great getting this group back together. 4 of the 5 starters from that team are here with us to talk about what turned out to be a tremendous win for St. Augustine. It turned out in blowout fashion, which nobody really expects in a state championship game, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch and get some comments from everyone and certainly talk about what the guys are doing now. So, Coach, let me open it up with you. What was it about this team? Ended up with a 30-win season, just a great run all around. What did you know about this team before the season started?
I had the impression very early, before we started in preseason workouts, that they were all on the same page. And traditionally, when you go through a season and have a group, in high school, regardless of how talented they are, if they're all on the same page, you've already crossed 2 of the hurdles that you have to get over. And I think as we progressed and the year went on and we started to win and see success, we got more and more confidence along the way. And you could point to 7 different games of where that happened. And in any of those 7 games that you point to, any one of the guys on here or anybody else you could pick would have had a key factor in that game at some point. Obviously, Saeed was just the only senior and played extremely well and took us on his back. But, Justin had a tremendous year. Austin had a great year. Walt was our best defender and had some huge buckets. And we just had so many people. And the other night when we were talking, I talked about Lou Reyes having a great game in the South Jersey final when we were in a little bit of foul trouble. So it was a team that was all on the same page, playing for each other, and you kind of had that feel that good things were ahead.
Well, Saeed, so we'll start with you being, Coach said, the only senior on the team, which is kind of odd for St. Augustine to only have the one senior. But so for you, obviously, this was it. This was the last run for you. But you brought that whole junior class. You guys fit really well together, and even with Marlon as a sophomore at that time. What was it like being that senior leader?
It was great, man. I thought it was just a fun experience. The year before, while we were all still there, we made it really far to the South Jersey Championship. We wound up losing that game in CBA, but I knew in my mind from that game we had coming back. And I just, I couldn't wait to play with all these guys again. I mean, I didn't know I was going to be the only senior on the team at the time, but, it didn't change my mindset. All our key players were Austin, Walt, Justin, and Marlon. So just being able to play with them that year. And just as I felt like as the year went on, we just all elevated our game and just knew we trusted each other. It was the best feeling I could ask for, to be the only senior on the team, just playing with dudes like them.
Well, Justin, you as one of the juniors, but you were getting a lot of, your recruiting was started well before this. How were you able to sort of put the college part aside? Because you still had this year, and I guess you guys were all kind of playing for Saeed a little bit, but to put that aside and then concentrate and just have, as Coach said, a tremendous junior year.
I mean, it's one thing at a time. Like, at this point, I'm only a junior in college. I'm not even really trying to think about where I'm going yet, and especially not right now. Like, I feel like you focus on one thing, either school, focus on ball, and then, like, the decisions like that come later on. I mean, it was just fun playing. This year was so cool to me just because I didn't cut my hair, like, the whole season. I feel like we won, like, mad game. I'm very superstitious. So by this point, I had a terrible, terrible fro, but it was still mad cool playing with them. I had been playing with Walt and Austin for like a couple of years before that, so it was just like great chemistry we had.
What was it like playing with a couple of guards like Saeed and Austin and Walt a little bit? There's a few highlights, well, all during the season, some highlight passes, but what's it like playing with guards like that?
I mean, they always like got you in the back of their head, that anytime they're driving or anything, just stay ready. I'm sure like Austin and like all those guys in the wing are thinking the same thing. Like if they see Saeed like doing his thing, you're just kind of be ready at any time because something's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of all our mindsets. Like something's about to happen at any time, especially during that year. We used to go on like 10, 15 point runs at every quarter almost.
Well, a lot of things happened in this game we're going to watch in a second. Austin, when you're playing with two guys like that, they get a lot of attention, but you hit a lot of big shots in this game and in games leading up to this where I'm not saying that they weren't paying attention to you, but a lot of teams got caught napping when they left you alone out there.
Yeah, I mean, I always just try to get in my spots, and I know Saeed would make the right play like almost every time. So if he had the ball in his hands, I would kind of just stay to the
Appreciate that,
side.
baby.
Huh?
I said I appreciate that compliment.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much. It's so easy playing, with Saeed and Justin and Walt. Like, it's just like Saeed can control the game. Like, it's super easy to play with. I think I had the most fun I've ever played basketball this actual year. I mean, it was probably the easiest year of basketball I've had to play too. It was so much fun. I could go out, run, play fast, and like I'd go to the corner. Saeed could find me in the corner. I could bring the ball up, throw alley-oops to Justin, whatever. Like, I just had a lot of fun this year. And, I think this the group of guys that we had just made it so much better.
Well, and Walt, Coach mentioned about you being a defensive guy, and you ended up being that, although this was a really good defensive team, really top to bottom. But Walt was you were like the single guy that people called out all the time, and you kind of put your offense aside a little bit. How was that for you fitting in that role with this team?
It was a sacrifice, but for the team, I just wanted to do my best on defense, and honestly, I took pride in it every single game, just shutting people down. Like, I didn't think nobody could score on me, honestly, but yeah, it was for the better of the team, and I knew like Austin, Justin, Saeed, they would put points on the board, but at the same time, like if they were struggling, I would always try my best to pick up my offensive side of the game and do my best. And also, just like Justin said earlier, we all put me, Justin, Austin, and a couple other guys been playing since middle school together. So the chemistry made it so much fun and so easy. So.
Well, you're not wrong when you said not many people scored on you in this game because they didn't get a whole lot of points. You guys did a tremendous job. It's going to be a lot of fun watching. It was so much fun broadcasting your games that whole year. Wish we could have gotten to do this one, but we'll enjoy watching it. So let it roll, Tom.
I've never even seen this game. Watched it.
You guys haven't watched this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've seen it.
Seen parts of it, yeah.
I've seen it.
Here we go. The non-public A title game is underway, and Brandon Anderson will have his first look at the Hermits defense.
Austin Kennedy going to be matched up against Anderson. He's a terrific defender. He's got some big assignment tonight to slow down the senior who's headed to Brown, a terrific combo guard.
Anderson hits the flash to
Brown
Mustafa.
now?
Lets it fly. And
Yeah.
misses first.
How's he doing?
2 days ago against Seton Hall Prep, Omar
He
Mustafa
had a good year.
his first 4 shots of the
He's
night.
my class, so he graduated. Obviously, Marlon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Marlon right away.
And Hargis has a huge
How was your guys' confidence going into this game? I mean, you just blew out CBA a couple rounds before. You had a real close win against Metuchen. How are you guys feeling going into this game against other top 10 team in the
12
state?
seconds left. Hermits
I
down
think
2.
even
Hargis, the sophomore,
before
ice
the game,
water
wasn't
pad,
it
knocked
between
them
Don
both
Bosco and
down,
somebody else
and the
supposed to
game
play?
went to overtime.
I
Amazing
forget who it
for a
was,
10th
but I think
grader.
we were just kind of happy
Good
to be able to play
inside
them
look
instead
here.
of
Dorme that time.
Yeah, it was
First ball.
Really nice.
They played Seton Hall before that, and they were the other top team to beat.
There's a 1-3-1 right there.
Yeah.
You're right.
Dorme 6'6".
And then Metuchen was just that was the big, the hump to
that
get
was a
over.
war.
Ball club's well
Yeah.
coached, shoot the basketball, take
So
care of
we
the
beat CBA
basketball.
by
He's got some size, some athleticism.
That was
and they
crazy.
both are
There's a
well
couple
coached
highlight
to play
dunks of
street
Justin
ball.
going up and catching a couple lobs in that
Walter
game.
Harvey, the junior, battling, and Dorme will pick up the foul.
He's some of the best lives.
Man, that man was strong.
Biggest side, Austin. They used to just throw it as high as they could. Austin literally said that to me. I'm gonna just throw it as high as I can and see if you get it.
Alley-oop, nobody home.
There we go.
Number 22, Justin Mutz, and the 6'7" junior.
Beautiful
you can get
baseline
there,
out of
but-
bounds designed by Paul Rodeo. The back screen, the alley-oop, an easy finish.
Now Anderson drops it off to Dorme. Here's Charlie Bagan. Bagan gives inside.
Yes, sir. Well, we're going up away.
Oh, for Don Bosco. That'll be the second foul on Manly Dorme in the last minute. Offensive foul.
And he picks up another one here real quick. He gets three early.
Execution I talked about. Look at the eyes up, perfect along the baseline. No one there for the Ironman and an easy bucket inside.
That's such a fun gym to play.
Baseline drive, no good. Now coming the other way.
Yeah, the atmosphere was crazy.
Pull up for three. Too long on that one.
Yeah,
And look at this.
you see a couple good shots of the Rowdies in this game. What do you guys think of the Rowdies this year?
I was a little surprised that Kevin DeVario did
Yeah, in 2016.
Oh, 2016, man. They all drove to the game, man. No bus. No buses.
That's 3 fouls
That's
in under 3 minutes.
That's underrated, by the way. The crowd and everybody we had, that particularly everybody that followed us along the way makes it so much easier. You know, so give them a lot of credit.
It felt like a home game, honestly.
Yeah.
It was fun, like celebrating with them after the game and stuff, like going into the crowd.
Was Walter Harvey.
I think they were probably a big part of the reason
why
how we did.
Major part. Checks in for the Ironman, and they need a big performance.
Yeah,
out of him
3,000
tonight if they're going to come away with a state title. He needs to score inside. He can shoot the basketball. Needs to defend. Needs to finish around the basket, especially now with the absence of Dorme.
Like
He's been the Super Sixth man all year. This is by far the earliest
Tyler's
Burlington
they
has seen
picky,
the
man.
floor in the
That's
postseason. But he has all kinds of ability as a 10th grader. Baseline jumper, yes sir, for Chris Paul. Talking about ability to wiry left-hander, knocks down a baseline three, and we got a tie ball game. So here's the Hermits now. They will be patient. Good, Chris, well-coached team.
Good pass.
Look, Austin Kennedy, the junior.
So when do you make your run, or is it just kind of progressive all game?
Yeah, late in this quarter, the second quarter is just
strong now. This one no good.
Just a highlight reel.
Nelson scoop to the hoop.
Yeah, second quarter. Yeah, it's definitely the second quarter. That's when it just. It's a low one in this though too in the first quarter.
Great use of the right hand when he got to the 10. Usually would have shot that with the left hand, scooped it with the right. Turnover again.
I think we get another shooter after this.
Now going strong is Justin
What
Mutz.
are the odds I made 2 free throws here? It was actually
has come out full tilt against Bosco. They are running the floor, moving without the ball, and attacking in the first 4 minutes of this first quarter. Great transition.
Dang, no, I'm like a good-looking dude, though. She's like, look
on the floor, yells trailer. Kennedy finds
there it is.
him, feeds him.
Friendly roll.
Gets the friendly roll on the
Way
first
to
one.
use the whole
Justin
roll.
Mutz
I
has
hold it
been a
up there.
closer in the postseason against Jeff Billett's Christian Brothers Academy team, Pav, 26-14. He had another double-double in the final against St. Joe's.
10 and 13 against
Coach, this was a discussion in the baseball one we did, but and you might ruffle some feathers on the Zoom. But where do you put this team in your like all-time rankings? I know you got like 5 state finals and a couple of ones you lost to St. Anthony's that could have been better than some of the teams that won state championships. Where do you put the 2016 team?
Well, if you're looking at any of my good teams, it starts with you have to have a good point guard, a great point guard. Now, some of those other teams, I had great point guards also. But it started with that. You have to have, I always said the difference between Justin and a lot of the other big teams I've coached. Justin had the ability to block shots and that made us better, and this team understood what we were trying to do with our break.
1982,
Away
99, they
from
were the non-public
what they were trying to do,
and 11 non-public
worrying what we were doing. This team was real close to one of the good ones, one of the best ones. I had some great ones. I mean, over 40 years, I've had a lot of good teams. This one executed it.
With a 29-win season, which was
They're
a
right
school
near the
record,
top. I
and
mean,
has brought them
the
to
team
the
that
Pine Belt
they
today.
had, we spoke to that didn't
Interestingly
win a
enough,
state
both of
championship.
these teams set
In the late
school
90s
records
was
for
very
victories
good
in
also.
one season. St. Augustine with 29,
But this team would be
and
right
Don
up there with
Bosco
some
with
of the
27.
others. Really good.
And the Hermits
Well,
are
biggest thing about it, Tom, is I don't know what weakness this team had. It wasn't defensive. They could all shoot the ball. I mean, I don't know where they had any any weaknesses. They were deep. They could play, both ends. They pushed it. They could run set patterns. So yeah, if it's not, it's way up at the top for sure. Yeah, this is that run, Saeed. This is that mini run.
Yeah, it is. Just like that was it. It was just 12-5.
Put on a show. Look at this great hands, the elevation, the finish, the concentration.
So, Coach, that game against CBA, was that the one at CBA?
Yeah.
Why were we at CBA?
They had more power points than us, even though we beat them in the regular season at Atlantic City.
And now they have
in a close game, and Saeed won on a three-pointer at the buzzer, but they had more power points.
Entering the fray now.
Not that day, they did. That was
not at all.
That was another strong showing by our parents, and they made the game at 5 o'clock. Mr. Burke and the administration were good enough to let school out early so we could send the buses up. PBA was still practicing, rugby and baseball and everything like that, where all our kids were stuffed in the gym, making it feel like a home game.
Spark plug for the Ironman. Can really do it all, Jimmy.
I definitely didn't feel like a home game.
Rebounds, he can defend.
You had a lot of
right now, Kevin DeVario looking
for some answers. Pat, too, if you're looking for a common denominator,
down by 12 and another turnover. Great hands by Kennedy.
Another turnover.
The year before that we won, almost every year, we had a tough loss to end our season and came back and beat that. That's what that team just like that, and that was an incentive for us. This team had lost the year before. To CBA,
his presence felt right away with the big block on
pretty
Nelson.
well.
Been very impressed with Nelson's game already early on. Athletic, quick, gets to the basket.
Yeah, they shot the lights out.
Only by a couple. In the 82 game, we lost the year before in overtime right at the buzzer.
Brown now kicks it out. Here's Harper.
And you look at in 2011 with Stevie sitting there, we lost to Cam Capping and Durazio, and that was a very, very tough game. So I think that gave us the incentive to come back and finish. When you have a player that makes moves like that, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, well.
You guys are, it's all cylinders right now. I mean, everything you're doing is right.
Harvey has been a defensive stopper for most
Walt
of the
is
year.
underrated in here. You watch him long enough in here, he makes a lot of big plays.
But he has really come on now. Mustafa can't hit.
There's the glove rebounder. Austin had a great play.
Harper then takes it away. Wood loses it. Good hustle getting back.
Good look there by Austin Kennedy up ahead, the 5'11 junior, but some even better defense.
I think a couple times we were just rooting for Walt to try and dunk over somebody. Whether this game or all year, we're like, Walt, you're athletic enough. Just
did you catch any bodies this year?
Drop it in now to Nelson.
Nah, he caught a couple dunks, but I remember he caught one. I think he did y'all senior year versus Atlantic City. I think so. Yeah.
Taken away by Anderson. Anderson with the steal. He'll go the distance and lay it in.
I was definitely getting more dunks my senior year.
And that's exactly what they needed. The senior.
Hey, Saeed, so into this game, they kind of talked a lot about Anderson and you being similar, the only seniors, the point guards. Did you ever play against him before or since? Did you play against him in college at all?
Nah, we didn't get to play against each other in college, but yeah, I played with him. I was on the same team as him for AAU when we were younger for about 3 years straight. So no, he's been my boy before this game, and still to this day we talk. We were talking during the season, just like checking in on each other, how this college it's rough sometimes. So, but yeah, we always been close ever since we were about like 8, 9 years old.
So he graduated this year as well. He
graduated
this year.
Yeah.
Has a huge future on the gridiron as well.
Yeah, so Earlington, I mean, he was a big football player too, but he was one of their only bright spots in this game. And he's where at St. John's now, I think, right?
Yeah, he hurt his year out.
He can bang inside, but he can also step out a little bit.
Now Jimmy's got a good-looking stroke. Shoots the basketball. He needs to score inside. They need his presence around the basket, especially down here early. They can't settle for threes, trying to get all these points back in a hurry. They need Earlington to get some post buckets.
What they need is to also ramp up their defense. St. Augustine has got a lot of good looks here in the first quarter.
You guys always ran that set really well.
Look at the cut here.
They
Again,
did.
tight on the inside. That one no good by Nelson. Gets his own rebound again. Can't get that one. Going to the glass once again. St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Walter Harvey.
You guys in this game, especially Walt, you just destroyed them on the offensive boards this whole first half. You just, I don't know, Coach, was that like a plan, a game plan to get the offensive boards?
I mean, I thought they were pretty good. When we watched them against, I watched the game against they rebounded the ball. That's right there, the guts and will, and Walt just out hustled that kid for that one.
High energy here in the first quarter.
I know it's not part of the plan. I just thought we have happening here, around here. We're starting to feel it here now. So playing a little bit more energy.
We definitely worked on that a lot in practice.
Yeah.
So Chris Paul,
yeah, it definitely picked up during that CBA game. The second time we played them.
Yeah.
Because the first game we were kind of just like laying back, just doubling Andre and not really guarding anybody else hard. But then that second game, man, we was like, nah, it's not happening again.
The first one was at the Battle by the Bay, right? Where it was the last the last second shot, right?
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was like a home game too.
It was.
For the Hermits.
Ooh.
Big Lou.
Puts it on the floor, comes down Broadway. Paul had it for a second. Now he loses it. Coming up with the rebound, no good. But look at right underneath there, and they miss it again. Too many looks. St. Augustine is out rebounding
So,
Don
Coach,
Bosco.
you never feel completely confident after only one quarter, but maybe I had too many state finals that were this big of a lead after a quarter.
No, I also felt that the kid being in foul trouble helped us, early. He was a pretty good player. But I felt we were in
Second quarter straight ahead, right here.
Like they were going to be able to stop us consistently. With this guy saying here, so we were getting any look we wanted. So I felt confident we'd be able to, at least stay there with him and see what happens. And now I think they obviously exploded this quarter.
A lot of airtime for Walt there. A lot of close-ups for Walt.
You got the fresh cut too.
They know a good-looking guy when they see him.
Harvey, much more known as a defensive player, one of the best defenders, if not the best defender on this Hermit lineup. He has gotten it done on the offensive end and on the glass.
You make them both here, Justin?
Oh, shot.
I think Just said he was having some connection issues, so that's probably why you can't hear him.
And that foul.
No, I had to go on mute. But yeah, he did not make both of these.
Shoot and miss the second. Here's Anderson now. Anderson.
There it is.
Mustafa.
What other big games you guys have this year? You lost a close one to St. Anthony's, but
yeah, that was a good game, though.
Yeah, that one I was almost like opened my eyes like how good Justin could be. Cause
yeah, Justin was cooking.
And then some terrific.
He killed that guy going to Arizona.
Yeah.
Like that on that play right there, Justin blocked that shot. That break. Now we didn't score on that one, but it gets where we want it. Now there comes back here.
To the rack, he'll get to go. So
Goes in.
Marcellus
They're
Erlington,
good enough to continue.
the benefactor of some good distribution by this Bosco team, has another one.
And that was a great decision by Omar.
Coach, when you said about your team losing the game before, the year before, like, do you think this team they certainly were a year away because they went on for two straight years of having great seasons, but did it seem like they were a little young for this game? But you guys took them out of it?
I thought that, we were a younger team, but I think we had two positions of players you had to have. Point guard, a post player, good defender, and really good shooter.
And with Manly Dorme with 3 fouls, Kevin DeVario has got to let the big cat suck up some minutes, and he is making it pay off.
They were about ready.
He's going to get back in his basketball. They have to attack the glass. The big body of Arlington has to get in there. They need Harper to attack the glass. Harper only a sophomore, but
7 minutes left in the second quarter. It's a 10-point game.
Yeah, I mean, they made this little run here. I mean,
early on here in the second quarter.
So Marcellus
Timeout.
Great timeout.
It was a great timeout.
Not too many people saw coming over TJ Gibbs and
After our
CJ
next
Prep.
run, it was like over though.
Great defensive effort.
Yeah.
He put Charlie Bacon in the
Because when you,
box
what was the
and
score at
won.
halftime? After that half-court shot, were you up like 20?
It was
something.
20.
I
think it was like 23.
Wow.
Chasing a double-digit deficit throughout. Would see
Well, that
TJ
means from
Gibbs
here
score
on in,
5
we
straight
outscored them
points.
by
The
13
lead
points.
was
in 7
cut to
minutes.
5.
Good run.
Guess who made
That's
the
the
three to get it back to
There's
10?
still no
And
one that
Bosco
believes me,
never
but
looked
when
back in the
Saeed shot
second
that
half.
shot, I was standing in the
It
back
was
of the court with
Marcellus.
my hands up like this. I knew it was going in, but no one believes me. But
Just a sophomore.
whatever.
Well, maybe we'll find some video evidence on here.
Mustafa
I
had
hope
11
so.
in that game. As you mentioned, Arlington hit the big three. He had 10, and Chris Paul had 9 in a.
Now, every kid on this team went on to, they're all playing in college either now or they did play in college. So, I mean, obviously, it was a good team. The Bosco team was
Where'd they-
talented for sure.
It was by how many Kevin
Where they wound up
DeVere
playing at?
It's been an
Well, I
interesting
know that,
run for Kevin
like the
DeVere
one
this
kid
year.
was at, like I said, at St.
Really
John's
the
and
favorite
Brown.
to win
That
the
Chris
Big
Paul
Ten
was at St.
championship.
Anselm's.
Yeah.
Ron Harper's at Rutgers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's at Rutgers. He's
Yeah,
actually
he's
playing
at-
pretty well there.
Yeah, he was Ian.
Number 12 at Princeton too.
Yep.
Really?
Dorme's played at Caldwell. And even the Mustafa kid walked on at William and Mary. So, I mean, they're all the guys playing.
Really? Okay.
Which would set up
Week
That's
there.
so
as Saeed Nelson knocks it down. A
That's dope.
fourth meeting between St. Joe's and Don Bosco in the semifinals of non-public A North, and Bosco was dominant. Free ball
Get
off
outta
the
here.
glass that time by Brandon Anderson.
A pair of twos knocked down a pair of threes. Nelson, and then Anderson answers on the other end.
You'll take it. Bosco now has got to pick up the defensive intensity. They need some stops, but they are within 8 points now.
Yeah, so it said they cut it back to 8, and then it just goes downhill for him from here.
Led by as many as 16. Nelson down Broadway. Tough call here. Marcellus will be called for the block.
And that's a good call by the officials. At the last minute, Arlington was moving, trying to get in front of Nelson, and there has been nobody.
They switched our game time this day too.
He has been shooting the basketball.
I'm pretty sure we supposed. I'm pretty sure we were supposed to play the
for the senior.
I think at 5,
Yes.
and they put us to 7.
Yeah.
Well, Saeed Nelson,
We didn't even get to cut down the net. I was kind of mad about that.
I wasn't thinking about this. That's true.
He has risen to the occasion.
That's very
numerous
true.
times. Does whatever
Hey,
it takes
at least
in
you
the
guys got to play this game.
whether
The
it's
the
making
team
a
this
big
year,
basket,
unfortunately.
charge,
Yeah.
making a big rebound.
Yeah.
This is the guy they turn to.
So all you guys that are playing in college, where did your seasons end, or did they end because of the pandemic?
Here's Harper now.
Saeed, you guys were done, right?
Drops it back
Nah,
up.
we actually after we lost to Bucknell in our league tournament, we got invited to play in the CBI.
Okay.
So we're gonna. That's funny. We were gonna play. We might have the first game. Brown was one of the teams we were gonna play.
He wants to score.
And then the whole pandemic happened, and we just packed it up, just all went home.
Yeah. And I don't know if Justin's still on or not, but did Delaware, where did they finish their year?
We lost in the semifinal. Then as soon as our conference tournament ended, literally like the next week, everything we wanted to do right there, everything happened. We got some closure at least, so we know how the season ended.
Justin was on the top 10 like nothing. I said you was on the top 10 a lot this year, bro.
You said?
I said you was on the top 10 a lot this year.
I had made the Sports Center like twice, but that was cool. And then my man's I got it for the buzzer beater.
Yeah, it was fire.
Boxing one, he's got Charlie Bagan out there trying to defend Nelson as he did.
But I feel like the thing that they put me on Sports Center for wasn't anything like different from like what I was doing in high school, like the putback. I feel like I had some of my best dunks in high school. That's what, no matter what, I don't care.
Yeah, the college, they be, man, workouts.
You get your legs right.
Oh, I take some.
You guys see Saeed finally got a dunk this year?
I got a couple, bro. I got 2.
Ain't catch
Somebody
nobody.
got send me a link. Somebody got send me a link.
Yo, no, the second one was it was kind of a body versus Bucknell.
Was it,
Was it actually on somebody or was it like by that person?
It was. I'm gonna say it was on somebody. He kind of flew past, but he was like 6'7" though, so that's like I gotta take that. This dude
Yo,
Walt
Walt.
Academy, man, over here everywhere.
Yeah, AK.
Spotting up is Austin Kennedy. Austin delivers a
all I gotta do is put the corner.
Did love the mouth guard.
What a
Oh,
complete
my
performance
God.
so far by the Hermits. Offense, defense, getting it for so many different positions, so many different players.
Oh, look at
This
that
has
crowd!
been a
Oh my
clinic
goodness!
In the first half
It
by
was
the
cleaned
Hermits.
out too. Like the rewind.
That was like the one
Defense
thing I
into
missed.
offense. Watch it once again. They are well schooled. And look at this great defense up ahead. Look at the heads up right away by Nelson. What good ball movement to kick out in the corner, and Kennedy hits his second
Perfect.
three ball
That's
of the
perfect.
game.
That's perfect basketball right there.
To Nelson to Kennedy. I think you missed the pass in between.
Yeah, Saeed, I think this year was the first year we get to stop lying on the roster and actually list you as 6 foot because you finally hit 6 foot.
Yeah. Yeah, freshman. The biggest lie was freshman year. I put down 5'8", and I was like 5'3", maybe. Tiny. Oh man. Like I didn't realize how small I was until I go back and watch some of these games. I'm like, it's crazy.
You kind of like Muggsy Bogues for real.
Yeah, I think it's there's the one picture with the coach's 776th win as Saeed is the freshman in it.
Yep.
It looks real small on it.
I was tiny. I was cheesing in that pic though too.
Extending the defense, causing turnovers.
Oh, almost just.
Anderson, 4-3, off the mark.
This might have been the play right here, though.
Oh, here it is.
Hey. Oh.
Man. That guy went crazy on social media, especially that night. I feel like after that, they had like no energy.
Yeah, it was.
It was over after that.
Yeah.
Mustafa still can't find one. Harper with a rebound. The kick out to Anderson. That's off the mark. Rebounded by St. Augustine. It's a 16-point lead.
Uh-oh.
Big leak out.
They didn't even want to jump.
I didn't even want to jump. I was so tired at that point. Then Lou started pushing me and stuff. Yo. You know when you do something and your teammates start like punching you and stuff, and it's just like, I get that you're hyped and stuff, but like, that's how it is.
But Coach, fortunately, you haven't had too many times when you were on the other side of a run like this.
Yeah.
What can he do? It's like the second time out he's called. Like what?
I mean, if I was on the other side, I'd be saying right now, every person, Austin just did 3 in the corner. Walk at the steal and a bucket down there. So he made a penetration, layup, score, and hit a jump shot. Watch that good dunks belong in the highlights. Well, you know, you have everybody hurting you here. And you got to figure out a way to not let them get caught up, but they're caught up in it right now. And he just switched defense into his zone.
Emphatically 85-52. And then a few
Push
days
up,
ago
yeah.
against St.
So I
Joe's
think they're a little bit confused. And
you want to talk about a character moment.
They cheated you, Justin.
I don't know about that.
This
got
team
blocked.
led St. Joe's Metuchen by 13 points with under 4 minutes left. And Coach would see that game.
Okay, so you heard what he was just talking about, Coach, the St. Joe game. You were up 13 with 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So what happened at the end of that game?
I think they were a very talented group. They've gone to Mississippi. They're playing at Syracuse. And they had a very good team, and they had a good run. They had a 4-minute run and took us out of what we wanted to do. But to our kids' credit, we were in foul trouble. But to our kids' credit, they, like they've done all this year, they did not fall apart. And they had enough to step back up and come back and get it. But they played very well for 3-4 minutes to stretch into the quarter. I think it was what they did not what we didn't do.
Who hit the foul shots late in regulation? Was that Walt or was that
Yeah, I thought Walt.
Nah, it was Marlon.
Marlon?
In
Right.
regulation, and then
And
Walt
then
hit him
Walt
in
hit him in
overtime.
Walt in overtime, right?
Now, was that scenario to put us up 3 or 4? Like, was that to seal it, or was that to just make sure they had to hit a 3 to tie?
Walt put us up by 2.
Yeah.
But Marlon's like tied the game, right?
Big play by Austin right there.
Yeah, he came with the hands.
That was your chance, Si.
Yeah, I was gassed. I was done. Yo.
Saeed is scared to dunk.
Even if I wasn't gassed, I wasn't dunking that anyway, man. I'm gonna keep it real. But nah, Marlins was the
Back to the
tied up.
man here. I think they're taking some time to figure out what we're in and how to attack it, and they're not getting what they want normally. I guess what they normally get.
Here's Harper now into the lane, kicks it out to Paul.
Pretty good team defense there.
Some of the teams can, like, figure out what the hell was on defense. Like random stuff, and they would have no idea what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked.
Austin Kennedy. He looks like he could be wearing a uniform with hickory across the front, playing for Gene Hackman and Hoosiers. The guy has been impressive.
And he certainly shoots it like Jimmy Chitwood. Perfect looking stroke on a junior.
Looks like Ali shoots it like Chitwood.
There you go, nice.
Yeah, they got to find something to talk about in a game like this.
St. Augustine Prep. In New Jersey, no shot clock, so they'll pull it out with an 18-point lead. Paul Rodeo.
I think if I remember that, you finished this in like a 10-2 run here. If I have my scores right. So,
Right close. Again, this look at that back door, but this group runs their stuff pretty well. Keeping the ball moving.
Actually, about to make some time.
Yeah, I don't know. I got stuck on my on my leg.
That right, boy.
Perfect.
Perfect cut.
Beautifully done that time. The patience to use the clock, and then Marlon Hargis.
Yeah, I think they're a little gassed too, Saeed.
Yeah, they falling apart right now.
It's a charge.
Away.
Good play by
Brendan.
For the Bosco big men. That is the third foul on Marcellus Earlington.
Yeah, this team, man.
Did a lot of things right. This guy's got to be careful. He's going gray right in front of us here.
Now they're going to press you. Or try
That's
to.
a mistake also, but he has to.
The lead is 20.
I remember Coach saying one time, if you try to press Saeed, you out of your mind.
We couldn't get pressed. Like, I got the ball off the way.
Just going, man. I'm not trying to sit back and get double teamed.
You see the cuts. They're just so sharp. They're so quick. No one goes through the lane without a purpose. No one who catches the basketball doesn't look for a cutter. I mean, the execution
My wife,
is just something to behold.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter.
And to think that the only senior in this lineup is Nelson. He's a big.
You're holding for one here, Coach?
I don't think we were. Good shot.
Why? You know, you're going to score like this.
Great interior passing. Nice look there by Aldridge.
Yeah, heck, I think you might get 2 more possessions if you're quick. If Saeed hits the buzzer beater.
Here's Paul. Turns
They
around.
score, I think.
Big day.
Has it blocked. Now the kick out. This long 3, no good. Paul had
Never
it for
mind.
a second. And away they'll come. The Hermits. Nelson quickly pulls up.
Who that man? Who that man?
Feeling it, bro. I don't know what was going on, man. I was feeling it.
Well, you're definitely feeling on this last one.
Uh-huh.
I wish you could see me back there.
Russ.
I know.
I didn't even like run up to him. I was still standing back there.
Oh my goodness.
We're up 26 at the half.
But we didn't get to see Austin, but you could see the coach on the other bench. Just his head just went straight down, just thinking, all right, this is just not our day.
Oh, look at the rowdies. Look at these dudes, man. Oh, that's the best, man.
That was a great half. Great second quarter.
I miss having a fan section though. Like, I don't got none of that in college.
It's crazy, just right. Like it picked up like for me during my junior and senior year at American, but it still was like it's not a comparison to the Rowdies like at all. At all.
I miss like running the Rowdies during football season. That was
so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got to give Mr. Mel the credit for that. He organizes those buses.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what
kids together.
It's easy to want to come out to a good team, so it wasn't hard. I just said who wants to come, and they all volunteered.
Oh, man.
And like Coach Riz likes to always say, kids will come out for a team that they like. So I mean, like I think you guys are pretty well liked in school. You know, I mean, if you guys were jerks, you probably wouldn't have had the fan base that you had. But I think each one of you guys was well liked in the hallways, in the classroom, stuff like that. So it makes it easy to root for you guys. Makes it easy to come out to the games.
Yeah.
That was a great crowd. I'm just noticing here, this place was pretty much filled that day.
It was packed.
Yeah. Both sides were packed.
I didn't think it was going to be like that for like our game. I thought it was going to be like that because it was St. Anthony's versus Roselle Catholic.
Yeah.
I swore everybody was going to just leave after that, but.
Who won that game?
St. Anthony.
But I thought Roselle Catholic won the TLC.
Nah, St. Anne's won the TLC that year.
I think they won it the next year.
Oh, okay. What were we even talking about in the locker room? Like anything?
Not to let them crawl back in it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, don't let them cut it to 15 or 12 going into the fourth. Yeah. And they didn't. So, I mean, we really control the tempo, run our sets, do what we're doing. They were just chasing us. I think they were demoralized on Justin's dunk and Saheed's last hits the three, then hits the half-court shot. I thought they were demoralized, but you could have still lost. And I mean, I go into these things looking, how could you possibly lose? You could lose if you let them cut this thing down to 12 or 11 and believe they're in it and then come after us. But they were in foul trouble. They were in a lot of trouble at this point.
Yeah, I think in the locker room we were all kind of just. I mean, we kind of knew like we had it in the bag. Obviously, we didn't like just take it like easy in the second half, but I mean, we kind of figured we were all right at that point.
Justin was trying to steal that thing around my neck right at this point.
He was.
That's what he was asking me at halftime.
Didn't we have 4,000 point scorers on this team?
That's what somebody was asking. Was oh gosh, there was the other kid that was a freshman.
Charles Solomon.
Was Charles on the team? Was he on the team?
He got
injured. So he ended up with 5, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if he didn't play, it's 5 in the program at one time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But there's so much to gain in watching this and listening. I mean, in reality, if you get kids who like each other, that's a big point. If you get kids who believe in what they're supposed to do, that's a big point. Yeah. If you get a group of kids playing for each other, Walt playing for Austin playing for Brendan Aldridge, everybody kind of on the same page, it makes your offense look better. It makes everything come a little easier. So
yeah. A lot more fun too that way.
No question. Look at that dunk.
You had a few of those that year.
I could do that. I wouldn't know how to
act. I know that, and there was some games he had like 8 blocks, 10 blocks.
Yeah, and I mean, and again, most of those 8 or 10 blocks stayed in play, which ended up in layups down the other end.
I mean, some points I would just let people go by me because.
Yeah, right. You tell me that all the time, especially on like fast breaks. If they got like a wide open layup, you could just like slow down.
Don't even foul him. Just let him.
That's my favorite one.
Sometimes if I was playing a good player, I would just be like, I know I got Justin back there, so I would just leave him to the basket.
That's good though. That's so good, man.
Someone asked me recently, who in the league gave us a run that year, even a little bit of a run?
In the Cal?
Yeah.
Bro, nobody ever gave us a run ever.
I mean,
Did he give us a run that year?
the AC game was like it was closer than most, but
The rest of them.
Was that the year Saeed hit the buzzer beater?
oh wow, with Catholic, yeah, that was crazy. We was down by like 15.
Wildwood Catholic.
Where was that game? At the prep or over there?
At Wildwood Catholic.
That Wildwood Catholic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we were losing. That's because Austin was rooting for his buddy on the other team.
I don't know about
Their
that.
court like smaller too.
Yeah, that gym was tiny, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
They be
come
having
on, man.
You get a rebound, you out of bounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you ended up winning at Wildwood Catholic 78-65, but yeah, I think you were down a little bit to begin.
We was down like 12 or something. Then we went on like a 13-0 run for the half.
I remember it now, yeah. Here we go.
We need to get back together.
We gotta let this whole thing calm down first, man. It's crazy.
So if you're Bosco, you just get out there and you just attack and do what you do and see what happens. Brandon Anderson.
That was almost gonna be us.
That was great defense. It was a tough shot.
Herman's over. I don't know if it can be done when you have a lead guard like Saeed Nelson and a coach like Paul Rodio on the sidelines. They're so well schooled. Everybody handles the basketball. It's going to be tough for the Ironmen to turn them over.
This shot no good. Earlington off the rebound. Now Anderson up front. Here's Chris Paul.
Yeah, I'm just taking a quick look at like the regular season on NJ.com, and looks like the only games you really had under 10 points in the regular season was the loss to St. Anthony's. You lost by 11, but it was closer than that. And the Cal final when we beat AC by 9. That was like it. Everything else.
Yeah. That was a nasty game, that Cal final.
And CBA and the CBA game where you only won by 3. So CBA, St. Anthony's, and Atlantic City in the Cal final were the only ones in the before the state tournament that were under 10.
What was our biggest one? Like how much we win by? Was it like 40?
Bishop R.
This guy really knows how to play the game. I've come away so
Crest,
impressed
71-35.
Backing Chris Paul in is number 20.
But if you guys got up in those games, coach is good at taking you out, so we're not,
Justin Mutz will go to the free throw line.
I figured that would eventually come up.
Very intriguing player, 6'7", just a junior.
But yeah, it looks like once you got in the playoffs too, you beat Union Catholic by 13, or you beat Bishop Bar by 30, 40 almost, 39. You beat Union Catholic by 13, CBA by 33, and then Metuchen by 2, and Don Bosco by 23. So even in the playoffs, you were just on a huge run.
So guys, when Coach was going through the scouting reports of all those teams, did he make them all sound like they were the Lakers?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially probably Bishop R was they probably had plenty of guys that could play and all that, right? And ended up being 40.
That was his famous line. He's like, you guys can play. You guys can play. And then we'll be up 30 at halftime.
Hey, man, you got to keep us on our toes, though. So that's looking back at it.
The Montrose Christian.
What's up? Oh, yeah, that was y'all were freshmen.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the game we played.
It's like YouTube highlight tape. Like,
Yeah.
Really good like that.
The Wolf.
Yeah, Lance Trier is nice.
You know who was on that team? Montrose was
Patrick McCall.
Yep.
Yeah, he was on that team.
I have a picture, Justin, of me and you guarding. Like I'm guarding McCall and you're guarding Trier.
Oh yeah, I remember.
We'll come back in.
And he's been their main offensive weapon.
And it was it the year before or the year after when Isaiah Wong was on Notre Dame? Because he's at Miami now.
That was my senior year, I think.
That was the year after that.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Marcellus.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
You like what he stands for?
I'm gonna have to relocate on my phone.
So Tom Bosco trails by 30.
I was trying to get 1,000 points this game. I only needed like 27, something like that. I remember you'll see like in the fourth quarter, I'm just not trying to pass the ball at all.
Didn't you
You got your first basket the next game, right?
I needed 8 points.
Think he got it for him?
And I tell you what, Mike
That kind
Brennan,
of
the
sucked
head
though.
coach
He
of
got it.
American
It wasn't really like
University,
hyped up.
formerly of Princeton. He is getting
But
himself a player.
Good defense there, kept that kid in front of you.
Anderson,
What? Stop by that kid.
This is a tough shot, bro. That's crazy.
Switch.
nah, he's good.
That was some Kyrie stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, K, you should have just called for a double. I would have came to help you.
Big day for New Jersey basketball, the state finals. Kevin Willard and the Pirates of Seton Hall have beaten Villanova in the Big East final. That hurts.
being a Villanova alum as you are, Jimmy,
You
I
hear
know
that?
that stings, but
Yeah. I mean, Dag is still 30, though. That's crazy,
Right.
man.
getting back to Mike Brennan, I mean, a New Jersey guy, played at Elizabeth High School. His
Obviously,
dad is
we
in the
never felt
building.
challenged
I'm
at
sure
all in the
he's
second
texting
half. I mean, just
frantically to his son.
from here
You
on
got
in, you're
yourself
just
a
trying to
player.
look
He's
to
looking
clock the
forward
run.
to Midnight Madness next October. This foul will go against Paul and go
I ain't
into
mean
the
to
free
get
throw
frosty
line
like
is
that.
Justin
Yeah, I'm
Mutz.
sorry.
Not a chance we got a second in you.
I think if I was missing free throws, then I'd be like 1 for 8 in the game. But if I was making them, then I'd be cool. I'd be
Coming
like
off the
50%.
bench, he's really helped him at times. Had a
Yo,
big
can you guys
block
see me on
against
this?
Seton Hall Prep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the next year, like our senior year, I went like 5 for 13 from the free throw line. We lost by 3 points in the state game.
Yeah, but he had a broken finger.
Yeah, I had broke my thumb, but like that's still like not my dominant.
That was we started slow in that one, right? Like we built our way back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GW. Playing well.
And the rim continues to be unkind.
Oh.
Nelson in there for another offensive rebound is Walter.
I got
Yeah, it's my fault, Jess. I was not used to throwing alley-oop.
As all the Hermits do. I mean, the court spacing offensively and defensively.
I did it a couple times at CBA game, but that was like, you had to like
It was a
tell
dunk.
me to start throwing it up.
That was an unbelievable dunk in that one, too, the one-handed one.
Again.
Crazy. I threw that like outside of the backboard.
There he is, Lou.
Ooh.
Big Lou, baby.
Oh, Lou in here?
Missed that, man.
Oh, Lou right here. That was a terrible cut.
The Mohawk.
Man. That's 2 free throws for you, though.
You was a clutch free throw shooter this year. I'll give it to you.
Playing spectacular basketball.
Here's Harper now. Ron Harper drops it off to Lavasolo. That one is off. Also in there now is Matt.
Did Lou have any dunks this year or anything?
So Petro wearing number 3 in the
I think he had like a couple. He had a couple.
Yeah, he had a body. I forget what game it was.
Body.
Austin
It was like
Oh,
it was like a
yeah.
2-hand. I forget what game it was though.
He had a good one against St.
He had a putback at like against Lower Cape May.
I thought he had a big bucket, it might have been a dunk against St. Peter's in that game. This was over in case you missed it here.
Yeah.
At this point, we're just having fun.
I noticed you're not going to the bench yet, Coach.
It's coming. I mean,
And the show continues as it is a 39-point lead for the Hermits.
Saeed, were you throwing many alley-oops at American?
Well, when you think about
No. I wish, man. Nah, I wasn't.
Beat St. Peter's by 23. They beat
Well,
St.
you had a
Joe's
pretty
by 10.
spectacular career down there after a great career at St. Augustine. But what's next? Where are you going next? What's the plan?
Right now, well, thank you first of all, but I'm trying to play professionally somewhere. So just in the talks with agents, in talks with like just interviews with NBA.
But you never know when you get to the
trying to get workouts.
There's an air of mystery.
Kind of hard right now when nobody's open, but I'm sure
I
you'll
was
get
gonna
it.
say everything is pushed back right now, so it's like I've been working out at home, but just let my body get back to what it was, because at the end of the season, it was broken down. So.
Well, Coach Pat and myself were working Pops at a dinner a few months ago.
Yeah.
Pops, that's the man. Man right there. Hopefully, hey, man.
Someone else had an
We'll
answer.
see.
I hope
he's
he
done a great job this year. You know, he's won 6
That'll be
Jamboree
dope,
titles
man.
in his time.
Yeah, it'll be
That
great
is one
for
of
you.
the premier county championships in New
By then,
Jersey.
you'll have
Oakland
forgotten
County
me if you get
Championship.
drafted by them.
So he has had plenty of
Who's the gray-haired guy at St. Augustine? I don't know. Some guy. I forget who it is.
My history teacher.
There is.
Here's Harper. Harper will go to the free throw line.
So Coach, now you go to the bench a little bit.
I think I start to go here a little bit at a time.
So who else is on this team? We were talking before, but I know Lou's out there and Brendan.
Aldridge.
Yeah.
Michi.
Amanda Laura.
Amici, and
Yeah, those guys.
McCormick.
Was TJ Dosky on the team?
Jordan Kendrick.
TJ.
My man, Jake
He went to
Kendrick.
prep for like 1 year. Shout out to TJ Dosky.
He lives in like Massachusetts now.
Really?
Who?
TJ.
He was like
Bosco.
actually like a knockdown shooter though.
TJ, who's?
TJ Dosky.
Is that Amici?
It's TJ. I'm pretty sure it's TJ, man.
Yeah, I'm saying. I forget his last name.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's
Was
TJ
Trey on-
Bosky.
Yeah, TJ Dosky, yeah, man, yeah. Oh, yeah, Lou.
Hey!
Hey! Hey! Let's go. I need it. Lou. That's about it. I don't care.
They're Louis.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Is that considered a dunk? I don't know. Is that a
I'm
dunk?
counting that.
Yeah.
Give it to him.
Oh.
That's a dunk.
Well,
Lou.
I don't think it's
If you ask him, he'll say it's a dunk, but it wasn't a dunk though. He threw it in and grabbed the net.
It hit the backboard.
St. Augustine lost by 13. They had closed to within 7 in the second half of that game. But the Friars' defense just too much.
Word.
2 points is 2 points.
That game on a different confidence level. They'll be
Indeed.
looking forward to their second crack at Bob Hurley's bunch if it comes to fruition.
No offense, that was Lou again. No, that was
Marlon.
So Marlon transferred from Holy Cross, is that right? You guys, anybody know, talk to him? So
I'm pretty sure he's going to
St.
St.
Francis.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he's going.
That should be a good fit for him.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
I think they lost like some of their best players to get too, so he might be able to go there and like turn up.
Yeah, the Keith Braxton graduated, yeah.
Right.
Who's in that conference with him? Who will he be playing against?
It'd be like a. What'd you say, Justin?
LIU.
Yeah.
The LIU. Who else?
Stony
Robert, yeah, Stony Brook, Wagner, Robin Morris.
Speaking of the great Phil Colicchio at Linden High School, Mike Brennan played.
Is DU in it? I mean,
when he was at Elizabeth High
I think
School,
so, yeah.
with a great coach, Ben Candolino. He was a head coach there, and he won a TOC championship.
Oh, and what's it called in it? They were D3, Merrimack.
And he beat St. Anthony.
Oh, yeah, they're in that too?
They won.
Yeah, they won. Yeah, they won the league this year, but they weren't allowed to compete in the playoffs.
Yeah, Merrimack was D2, and then they won D1.
He did not win the cook-off at my house.
No offense, even our second group is running this stuff pretty well.
From Big Brother.
That's where Travis went to Merrimack for a year.
Yeah.
His brother Tom Colicchio, the top
I
shot.
thought that was George Stephen for a second.
Nah, that's Timmy.
Yeah.
Beat me in the cooking contest.
Jurassic.
Field and laying it in there, getting a bucket is
Can't forget about George
the
Stephen.
captain. Petrosino,
Love
wonderful.
George. Nah, Max Slamkin. That's the
He'll
guy
go
right
to
there.
Indiana
Shout out to
as a left-handed pitcher.
Slamkin.
He plays for the highly vaunted Don Bosco Prep baseball team. And really has been one of their instrumental leaders this year.
TJ.
Yeah,
Just
TJ
keeping
Dosky.
them organized, cohesive in practice, energetic.
DJ could really shoot though. I don't know if y'all knew that.
Oh yeah, he could.
DJ was a major shooter. He just never shot the ball. Who was the other guy? Trey Greer? He came for like 1 year and then left.
No, big
Yeah.
not having it. Yeah, Trey, yeah, he came that 1 year.
Dude, he would not miss a shot in warm-ups, not one shot.
That helped a lot.
I've never seen him miss a shot shooting around ever.
And it was the same shot every single time.
He was like a robot. I wish the best for that man.
In the North semis,
True,
man.
Shout out to Trey Greer wherever you are.
in the North final.
I ain't see the time. I'm like, yo, he's just chucking that up.
Fagan just a little bit short.
24 minutes.
No, I don't know, Coach. Normally in your games like this, you start the starters in the fourth quarter. You know, in a lead like this, did you start the starters again?
I thought I did, because it's a state final.
Rodeo is 8 minutes away from his 5th New Jersey
Rowdy.
I remember those
I just want to
guys.
say shout out to Ike, Coach Ike.
But yeah, shout out to that.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, who else was on your bench that year? That was right, Anthony, Stevie,
Erie was the freshman, right?
right, Ike.
I think Mike Quick should make a little bit of adjustment on that.
Paul
Some
Rodeo,
great shots that
second
he would
all-time
have.
winningest coach in New Jersey behind Bob Hurley. He will get his 5th New Jersey State Championship.
So, Coach, how are you guys looking for next year?
We got the same group back. Basically, I lose the one foreman, Kevin, our point guard, but we have a kid who didn't play last year because of an ACL, who we think is going to be a good little player. And some really good young kids. So I think we're going to be good.
How would your team now compare to us? I'll come back and play against them.
Yeah. I mean, they're good. They don't have a dominant big guy like you to kind of block shots.
I'm a point guard, honestly.
Well, I figured. I mean, I have a good big guy. He's just not a shot blocker.
Delaney, right?
Delaney.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Didn't his brother go to like Pittman or something like that?
Yeah.
His brother was a dog.
Coach, you remember that game when we played at Pittman?
You won the game with the 3 at the top of the K. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I probably
Sprite was in the locker room after.
Man, listen, that was tough. And then we came back and played Millville. I think it was a back-to-back day, and we lost.
I remember that.
Oh my!
Was that your freshman year or sophomore year, Saeed?
That was my sophomore year.
I was at freshman.
We lost to Millville. I was like, man. But everybody's legs were just gassed. It was like.
I remember that.
Yeah, I can't play that game, but I remember it.
But you'll see him go to his bench very quickly.
Yeah, just they had that little point guard. I forget his name.
Khalil?
Khalil. That's his name. He went to Stockton, I'm pretty sure, for a couple years.
He did.
They have shot in this game, and that's pretty much where the starters will dock it. As coach now will start.
There's be some players in that team, maybe.
Good effort.
Are they in the cow?
Walter Harvey. He was
My man, Walt.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, Just. I have no idea.
Here's that, Justin.
I think I was sick this game too.
Checking in now, Bobby McCormick.
They had a little flu game.
Yeah.
6'2"
Because I was in the nurse's office before the game.
Jordan had the flu too. He had 40.
Yeah, it's in the fourth quarter. I'll be there in a second.
So now, St. Augustine Prep.
Go get yours, Just. Go ahead. Go on.
For Justin Mutz. Boy, Mutz has been impressive.
I told you, brother. Once I got to this point, I wasn't passing the ball anymore.
Athletic.
I was just trying to get
Strong
a
going
thousand.
to the rack. You can see how he
Robbie
put up
McCormick.
26 and 14 against CBA.
Yeah, okay.
Now coming off.
Okay, man.
What a day for Austin Kennedy, the junior.
Where y'all rings at, man? Y'all, what y'all got them in the low?
Mine's back in Millville right now.
Okay.
Claps and curtain call, very nice.
What about you, AK? Where your ring at, man?
And rightfully, Saeed Nelson will come off last.
Is he on here?
Get a standing ovation for the performance he's put on today.
He might have popped out.
I might have disconnected.
Manny Petrosino will have about
No, he came in the whip.
hours to relax before he'll be out on the
Yeah,
baseball diamond with Don Bosco playing
I'm in a
baseball.
car right now.
Now listen,
I
when
just
you overlap, it means you've had a good run with your winter sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this dude just is trying to get
Outstanding
buckets, man.
left-handed pitcher.
At this
Looking
point, it
for
was
back-to-back. He got it.
Outstanding left-handed
Quick,
stroke
but
as well. Picture
my
perfect. That's
there. It
the
is.
down. That's the
There it
That's
is.
it.
Yeah, there it is.
Wait, wow, let me see. Hold on. Oh yeah,
That ring was nice. That ring was huge.
that was.
Yeah.
Nelson now finds. Now Mutz will lose it.
This
Yeah,
dude just.
okay.
Oh, I don't remember.
move to the basket.
pass the ball, dude. Jeez. Oh my God.
Yes,
let me get a
Erasmi,
bucket like this.
first year on the
Let me get a bucket.
varsity. Got a
Nah,
nice
good
range,
ball.
just a
That's
sophomore,
not
aggressive
good
lefty.
ball, bro.
I was done, man. I was like, man.
So he'll have plenty of time next year representing Don Bosco
Swing it.
basketball as a junior.
Hate to see
Working
it.
through the doubles now, number
I hope I
13,
shot it through.
Stevie Lanose.
No, I think you did. I
Steve
think you did our
Jr.
senior year.
There it is.
Bucket.
Just to let you know,
Whoa.
just that I did not want to shoot that, man.
Yeah, you shouldn't have tried that.
I
You
will.
gonna miss it. You messing up.
Pull-up jumper, no good. Ball tipped around. Good action here by Erasmi.
Yeah.
Hustling and muscling.
As I see McCormick on the court, I remember Mr. Lasasso, the younger one, he made a joke bet with McCormick that against St. Anthony's, if he dunked on somebody, he'd like buy him lunch. But if McCormick got dunked on, his dad would have to lease him a car for free for like a certain amount.
Pulling up. Long on that one.
I'd be surprised if he could touch the rim.
Under 4 minutes now.
I'll give Rob the rim. I think he can touch the rim.
Could he dunk a tennis ball?
I'll give it to him.
We're looking for the other two seeds.
I don't know about that, but
Group 2, we've got Camden.
Where does he go?
Side from Newark, and also from Newark in Group 1.
This dude
he goes
just-
to South Carolina.
We go South Carolina,
Yeah.
okay.
Hey,
Yeah, him and Brennan go there.
The bucket right there.
Probably be in that 5-6 seed.
Good work, Just. Out here trying to get buckets when we up by.
I was
2-2 still.
hurt. I only needed 8 more points.
Up by 40 points, and Justin's trying to get a
You know,
bucket.
yeah.
Jeez.
No apologies. No apologies. I'll do it again.
This
Who was
dude,
that?
man.
Is that Sam? Oh, okay,
Yeah, I
Sam.
know.
Damn.
Sammy
Sammy.
Alvaro, the junior.
All right, so this game was a lot of fun, but you get to the Tournament of Champions. Coach, what were you seeded?
We were the 2 seed.
You seed
Linden was
And-
the 3 seed. Linden beat, I forget whom. And then played us.
the University they beat in the first round.
Yeah, then they played us in the semi and dominated us early. And then we came back and played, I thought, pretty well after the middle of the second quarter on. I thought we played well.
Yeah.
They were a very good team. Well, but I thought we could have won that game. Both of the games we lost. I mean, it's about 3 offensive fouls, and I like to get back in the St. Anthony. But
Yeah, that was only a 3-point game, Lyndon, right?
yeah,
Right.
then there was 3, and both Saheed and Austin had looks to tie it late. It just didn't go for us. But I mean,
Yeah,
it
man.
was a good game. They were good. They beat it.
They were a good team, though, yeah.
Here at the Pine Belt, which they did.
Yeah, they came out. Yeah, they came out. Like just aggressive, just.
And now that'll do it.
Good foul, Saeed.
Jordan Kendrick.
Gotta acknowledge the rowdies, man.
This hot side. This when you handed off the baton.
I know, yeah,
And the only
yeah,
star
man.
on the roster for the Hermits.
Yes, I.
An embrace
And
for
Jordan
his
Kendrick carried on your
legendary
legend.
skipper, Coach Rodeo.
How did he do?
Silky side.
This feeling will never. Yeah, this is the craziest
The city
feeling,
of
man.
Augusta Prep Nation proud. What a championship run.
You had 30 that night, sir?
State final.
What, the state championship night?
Did you have 30?
Hmm.
Did you have 30 that game?
With this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's not even like a quiet 30. It was just like
Yeah,
spread out.
something like.
It sounds.
It was super late.
Defensively playing hard, going to the glass.
I think I had 28, and Coach Farmer was like, he was like, yeah, just get one more layup. And I was like, all right, I didn't know. I was like, I get one more. And I was like, I'm not gonna shoot anymore.
Yeah, that's why I like Coach Farm. I like the way he thinks.
And he was on one of those state title teams.
Yep.
Yeah.
Animal.
Straight to a bucket.
His son's going to be there next year, right, Coach?
Yeah, he's gonna be a freshman at the prep.
Let's go. He's coming in.
No way.
Hey, I'm coming back to watch some games.
He was the.
I remember him when he was like
when he
8 years
graduated.
old.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Mr.
They
Boomer?
would work out before practice.
Coach Farmer was the all-time leading scorer when he graduated. Coach, do you remember who ended up with more points, Coach Farmer or Saeed?
I think he has me. He's at 2. I'm at 3, and Isaiah's at 1.
Yeah,
I think that's right, yeah.
Got him by a couple.
Yeah, I knew Isaiah was 1.
Yeah, Isaiah, that's different.
That's a freak of nature.
What did he do after high school, though?
So I did Marist for 2 years and Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, Cal State. Mm-hmm.
Did he graduate recently? Or, like,
No, he coaches with my son right now at St. Joe's.
At St. Joe.
you know how old he is?
He graduated in 2011, so.
Yeah, he's
Probably
20.
like
I think he's 26.
27.
Yeah.
Graduated with Stevens.
Yeah.
27.
Coach, I came to that game too. That his senior year, that state championship game versus Seton Hall.
Yeah,
I was there
played
too.
Yeah, he had 30. I was like, oh my goodness, this dude is.
Yeah.
That was a crazy game.
The three-pointer, Coach, the step-back three he hit was
Still one of the best ever. The step back, we're trying to hold it to delay. He steps back and hits a three.
Ridiculous.
For Don Bosco basketball.
About right.
Gave you a whole game. That Kendall too.
Yeah.
Ex
Kendall
Kendall.
plays a king.
Who?
Kendall plays a king.
Word, that's fire. I like. Okay.
Didn't get here. Been lost, I believe, 4 times in the game to get to this game. And,
Why you pump fake on the free throw?
I thought I was tripping. I thought I was lagging for a second. Jess, he did pump fake.
Is that Cole in the back there? Coach, is that Cole?
Yeah, that's cool.
X.
Man, the slice.
I remember when X used to just like turn up in practice and just not miss threes.
Yeah.
And when you think about this,
He was going at us though. That kept us on our toes.
Big earn.
Remember when Cole couldn't miss a three?
Yeah.
Oh,
Y'all remember when Jordan dropped me, man? You remember that, Jeff?
Dropped you?
Oh, bro, that was like funny. I couldn't even play it off. I'm like, yeah.
yo, sorry. How about when you got crossed up by Kendrick in practice?
I ain't want to be the person to say
I
it.
ain't forget about that.
That's what I was just talking about, man. You ain't hear me?
Uh,
Yeah, he dropped me, man. Oh, it's over. Bad.
Yeah.
2016 non-public A champions, a wire-to-wire victory at the
There it is.
Pine Belt Arena.
That was like everything was filled.
Mm-hmm.
But Coach, we talked about it earlier. So that's the 5th title. We talked about this team and where they fit with the whole, and the whole thing. So I'll ask the guys sort of to wrap up. Just what was your thoughts about, this team, this win, what it all felt? And then with the juniors, you had another year to come back. So I don't know, Austin, I'll throw it to you first. What's your kind of wrap on this team?
They trailed in regulation in overtime, but they dug in. And behind a senior
It's definitely like one of the more fun teams I played on, like my basketball career. With Saeed being the only senior, we knew like the final year we could be good too, but we didn't really know like how good we could be. It's like obviously losing him was like a big piece. But overall, like the team, like I love playing with them, and all the kids in the team, even the kids that didn't really play as much, like we all get along to this day. We hang out, we talk all the time. So like. I think it was just a good experience for all of us.
Yeah, and that just scene right there you guys showed with all the students, which was awesome. Awesome. Walt, what do you think? What's your wrap on this team and that year?
It was amazing. Just like piggyback off of Austin. It was like the teammates and like it was like a dream like team if you want to call it that. But like it was just fun, a lot of fun, and basically one of the best, my favorite teams I've ever played on so far. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, it was amazing. It was an amazing team. You guys, like I said, you seem like you got along really well. I'm guessing that's the way it was in real life. Justin, what were you thinking after this game?
I mean, I just think this is like the best high school team I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
If I was like somebody who made documentaries, I want to make a documentary about this team. But it was just cool to be able to come back next year and play with them again. Like, and then to get back to the state championship, but then we didn't get it done that year. But it was still like, it was just awesome, just building like chemistry and building bonds with them.
Go ahead, Saeed. You were the senior, so this was well, it wasn't it. You still had the TOC, but you looked pretty happy in that shot.
Yeah, man. This was the goal ever since I stepped foot in the prep, man. Year by year, the team got better. My junior year, I was like, this was the best team I was on, and then came senior year, and just throughout the whole process, man. Coming into school, just seeing these dudes every day at practice, just in the hallway, and then just being able to play with them at practice, these games, we were just a good team, man. Just everybody knew their role, knew what they needed to do, and looking back at it, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I'm enjoying just looking at this right now. It was too fun. It was too fun. We had to rowdies these dudes, man. Look at this. It was great. Oh my goodness.
Well,
I love it. I love it.
I'll let Coach finish up. I'll just tell you this from watching it from sort of the outside on this team. The thing about it, I thought, was everyone talked about the team and potential of the team and were they really as good as everybody thought. And I know going into that St. Anthony's game, you guys, even in the loss, showed how really good you guys were going to be. The CBA game was just phenomenal. The guts that you won the St. Joe game. And then this was just, icing on the cake almost with this kind of a win. But again, as we said earlier, I've been around too long and I've seen a lot of St. Augustine teams. And this is right there at the top. I mean, you could make arguments as this team being the best or one of the couple of best. And that goes a long way with Coach Rodeo and the history of the program. So you guys should be really proud of the accomplishments of that team and glad to hear that you're all still friends. And it's nice to watch this game over again. Coach, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we've been saying the whole time. I mean, it was a group of guys that were all on the same page. You could feel it from the middle of the year. I felt it from that summer, to be honest with you. They overcame adversity. We had some bumps in the road like any team's going to have, but we didn't show the bumps in the road. I mean, we got beat. We had some things that didn't go our way, but we kind of stayed together. And that showed in some of those games, like in that St. Joe's game up there. And they really felt it when it started to go their way, and they played to the run, and they were really, really good at it. It was a great group of kids. They deserve a lot of credit. I mean, the group that's going to go down is not the best, one of the best for sure.
It's amazing, buddy. You guys lose to CBA last year in the South Final. You're in an overtime game against St.
You're like a baby, bro.
I know, man. It's crazy.
So small. I can't talk though. I was probably small.
Like, did you get bullied in high school?
Nah, I didn't. It's funny, man. When I came in my freshman year, I was hanging out with the senior class with like Calvin. Remember Calvin Cass and all of them? They like brought me in. I was like, oh, I'm good.
If you were a freshman when I was a senior, I would bully you. Just you.
Guys, just so everybody knows, this will be on Monday night. What time, Tommy, on Monday?
6. So what I normally do, and I can go edit this out, but what I normally do is I'll put it on at 6 on like the website, like Watch Together, so it's all like playing at the same time. But then after that, I make it available on YouTube, so you guys can go watch either the game without you guys talking or the game with you guys talking after that. But we're gonna like play it so everybody watches it at 6 o'clock on Monday.
Great.
Good deal. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Thanks for having me on, Tom.
Yeah,
Good to
thanks.
see everybody.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for coming out of your way. Have a good holiday and stay safe, everybody. All right.
You too, coach.
God bless, man. Be good.
Peace.